We're going to work out on some questions about different topics of 6th grade. I'm going to check first some questions that you wrote me in the chat, and then we're going to see if we have time to work out more. This is the idea of today's session. So we're going to start with this question that is referring to a probability, and it says in the scale below, plot the following events. So it says roll a factor of 20 in an 8-sided die, getting hearts when you toss roll like die, select a letter S randomly from the word statistics. The probability of raining is 80%, getting a number less than 7 in a 6-sided die, roll a multiple of 3 in 10-sided die. So we're going to start talking about the how to do it in the scale of probability. But to do that, you need to calculate the probabilities, right? So you need to work out each probability so you can find out where to put it in the scale. So we're going one by one. We're going to start with the probability of A. Factors of A of 20 are 20, 10, 5, 4, 2, and 1. Those are the factors of 20. And in an 8-sided die, so 8 sides, there are going to be these 4 numbers, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it means that there are 4 numbers out of the 8 sides of the die. If I simplify, it's going to be 1/2. So at 0.5, I have to put event A. That's the first. Getting hearts when you toss roll a coin. Okay, actually, this is like funny. Getting hearts when you toss and roll a die. So it has no meaning. So it means that the probability is 0. That's impossible. Select the letter S randomly from the word statistics. So the word statistics has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters. And from these 10 letters, I'm going to take 1, 2, or 3. So it's going to be 3 out of 10, or if you put it as a decimal, 0.3. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 is going to be here. It says D, the probability of raining is 80%. So 80% is equal to 0.8. So you just need to go 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, and we have here the probability of raining. Getting a number less than 7 in a 6-sided die. Look at that. Any number less than 7 in a 6-sided die is going to be roll. So the probability is it's completely certain. Now, here is like a quick mistake, but we're going to assume that it's getting a natural number. Okay, because then you tell me like, oh, but I can choose 0 or -1 or something like that. Roll a multiple of 3 in a 10-sided die. So we need to get the multiples of 3. I'm gonna get the multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, and 12, but it's 10-sided, so it's only less than 10. It will be these 3 out of 10. So it's going to be in the same as C. I gotta put it here, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Good. So this is how to answer these type of questions. You must put it on the appropriate role. Now we're going to another question, a question that I've heard by chat that it was question 5E. Now I have here, I'm not going to do these questions, but I'm just going to go to this one. That is, Kyle is playing with a spinner below at the fair. It's a spinner that has 8 possible numbers. Okay, so it's a number from 1 to 8. This is the first thing we're going to see. And here in this question says, Kyle spins the spinner 20 times. Here are the results. So we have 20 results of our spinner that goes from 1 to 8. And complete the table below. Put your answers as decimals. So we need to do tally marks, we need to do absolute frequency, experimental probability, and theoretical probability. Now, theoretical probability is already given, because if I assume that the spinner is equally likely and the numbers are not repeated, so I'm going to put that my answer to get any number is going to be 0.125. They already give me one column of my problem. Now, I'm going to complete the tally marks to get the absolute frequency and the experimental probability. So tally marks. So I have a 4, 1, 2, 2 times 4, so 2. 3, I got 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 times 3. I got 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 7. 7 is 1, 2. Okay, 7 is 2 times. Now I'm going with 2. 2 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm going to check 8. 8 is going to be 1 and 2 times. 8 is 2 times. Hello everybody. Hello people that are now. I just did one question. Now I'm doing the second question, that it's about completing a table that has tally marks, absolute frequency, experimental probability, and theoretical probability for a spinner that has 8 options. Now I'm gonna get 1, so 1 is 1 and 2 times, and 6 is going to be only 1 time. Okay, so as you can see, here is absolute frequency is just convert the tally marks into numbers, so it's going to be 2, 4, 3. I was about to put 4, but it's 3, 2, 4, 1, 2, and 2. Okay? And the experimental probability, it's going to be just the absolute frequency divided by the number of trials. So for example, this 0.1 must come from 2 divided 20. That if I simplify it is 1 over 10, and 1 over 10 is 0.2, 0.1. So I'm going to do the same with the other. 4 over 20. 4 over 20 divided by 2 is going to be 2 over 10. 2 over 10 is 0.2. Look at that. I'm not going to simplify the whole fraction because I need it as decimal. So as I need it as decimal, I'm going to try to put my fraction over 10. So I just divide moving the decimal point. In this case, it's 3 over 20. For example, I can do this. Maybe if you want to convert this 3 over 20 as a decimal, we can multiply by 5, amplify by 5. So I got 15 over 100, and I'm going to divide by 100 to get 0.15. 2 over 20, so I already know the answer, 0.1. 4 over 20, I already know the answer is 0.2. 1 over 20, so I can do the same strategy. I'm going to amplify by 5 times 5 times 5. It's going to give me 5 over 100. 5 over 100 is 0.05, right? And 2 over 20, I already did it, 0.1 and 0.1. Okay, so this is how to calculate, how to get the table of probabilities. I don't understand the experimental and the theoretical probability. Experimental probability is when you perform a random experiment, and this random experiment is about to calculate with a frequency. In this case, you roll the spinner many times, and by rolling the spinner many times, you have some answers that are collected in this absolute frequency. I already performed the experiment, and if I take the relative frequency of the experiment, I take the absolute frequency divided the number of trials, that in this case is 20, I'm gonna get the experimental probability. This is how you get experimental probability. Now, theoretical probability is the probability that you calculate just based on the conditions that you have on the experiment without performing the experiment, or by using the mathematics that you understand from the experiment. In this case of the spinner, you have a spinner that has 8 options, and we're assuming that each option is fair. So if I roll the spinner, it's going to suit in any of these options. So it means that the probability of getting any number, let's say probability of getting 8, is just one option, because you have only one 8 here, out of 8 options. You see? Because you have 8 options here. For example, let's do one of these. It says calculate the probability of spinning a divisor of 15. So I'm going to list the divisors of 15. Divisors of 15 is 1, 2 is not, 3, 5, and 15. Now, but I'm rolling a spinner that is from 1 to 8. So it means that the options I got are that you get 1, 3, or 5. So look at that. If I use my spinner of 8 options, the probability of get a divisor of 15 is going to be these 3 options over 8 options at all. This is how you calculate the theoretical probability. Okay? For example, here, calculate the probability of spinning a multiple of 2. So I'm going to list the multiples of 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. I could put 10, but remember that 10 is not included because it's a spinner that goes from 1 to 8. So look at that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 options. So the probability of getting a multiple of 2 is just 4 over 8. This is how it works. This is how it works. In this case, going to be 1/2. So this is the difference between experimental and theoretical probability. In experimental, you must perform the experiment. You must check the experiment to calculate it. Now, what is expected? What is expected is that when you perform the experiment many times, you're gonna get the theoretical probability. In this case, we did it only 20 times. Let's see the next question that appears, because it's a very good question that says, Kai concludes that the spinner may not be fair. Is he correct? Explain using the results of the experiment. Look at that. The question says, explain using the results of the experiment. It's not based on what you think. It's based on the results of the experiment. So I need to go to the table to observe the results of my experiment. If the answer is fair, I mean, if the spinner is fair, it is supposed that in the 20 trials, all options get about 2 or 3 times. Okay, because if I roll it 24 times, as I have 8 options, I will get it 3 times each. But in this case, look at that. For example, 6 is only 1, and 2 and 5 are 4 times. So she can tell that the spinner may not be fair. Yes, because 2 and 4 are occurring, happening, spinning more times than the others. Now, a lot of times more than the others? No, but for example, 6 is only once. That could be another option, because 6 is only once. I expected at least 2. Now, maybe you can tell, no, she cannot say that the spinner may not be fair because she didn't try. She needs to try more times. That's correct as well, because 20 times doesn't give you the option to happen it as many times as you want. Okay, so this is something that it's good to know when you perform an experiment in experimental probability. People are telling me here to work out on question 14 of this task. 14. Let's go to question 14. Okay, it says that Yuri is plotting different graphs of the form y equals mx. Plot on the Cartesian plane the graph of y equals 3x and y equals 2x and y equals negative 2x. Okay, so you need to graph these three graphs, 3x, 2x, and negative 2x. What I suggest you to do is to or either create a function machine or create a table. So I'm going to do kind of a table here, a rough table of x and y. I'm going to do first 3x. Sorry, not 3x. I'm going to do y equals 3x. So what it means here is that every time I have an x, I have to multiply by 3 to get y. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose only some points starting from -4, for example. -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is what I'm going to do. Now I'm just going to multiply. -4 times 3 is going to give me -12. -3 times 3 is going to give me -9. -2 times 3 is going to give me -6. -1 times 3 is going to give me -3. 0 times 3 is going to give me 0. 1 times 3 is going to give me 3. 2 times 3 is going to give me 6. 3 times 3 is going to give me 9. 4 times 3 is going to give me 12. So this is going to be the graph. So now I'm going to the graph to plot the points. -4 with -12, I can do it in this Cartesian plane. I should start with -3 and -9. So I'm just going to put the points, -3, -9, -2 with -6, -1 with -3, 0 with 0, 1 with 3, 2 with 6, 3 with 9. Okay, so I already have the points, and I have to do the graph. So to do the graph, I need to draw the line. However, I have a problem here, people. Unfortunately, here I don't have ruler. In this program, I don't have ruler. So what is expected is that you do your line with ruler. So I'm gonna do it awfully. It's not going to be with ruler. I'm sorry. You must use ruler to do it. Okay? I'm sorry, I don't have ruler here. How do we know how many points we need to graph? I suggest you to do as many points as you can plot on the Cartesian plane. In this case, I choose from -3 to 3 because I can put them on the Cartesian plane. I can do less. Yes, you can do less. I can do more. No, because you don't have the amount of points of space in the Cartesian plane. I have a question. When you tell example x equals 3/8 or x equals 4 times 9, I don't get it. I don't get your question. When you tell example x equals 3/8 or x equals 4 times 9. No, I don't get your question. Please rewrite it because I don't understand. Here somebody asked, directly proportional meaning passes by 0, 0. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Every graph that passes by 0, 0 is directly proportional. I can see that you say 14. Okay. Now I'm going to plot the points to x. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Now I'm going to -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. X, y equals 2x. -3 times 2. Look at that, here is multiplying by 2. -3 times 2 is -6. -2 times 2 is -4. -1 times 2 is -2. 0 times 2 is 0. And here 2, 4, and 6. Right? 1 times 2, 2. 2 times 2, 4. 3 times 2, 6. The multiplication table of 6. How do we must do the line? When you have all points plot on the Cartesian plane, you take your ruler and draw the line. I'm sorry I don't have ruler here. I'm sorry that it looks very messy. Now I'm going to draw the second line, -3 with 6, -2 with -4, -1 with -2, 0 with 0, 1 with 2, 2 with 4, 3 with 6. So now I'm going to draw my line. I'm sorry. Maybe I can try something. I'm gonna try something, guys. I'm gonna try something. My God. I'm trying something. Okay, I think this is the best I can do. Good. It works. That's the first line. I'm gonna try to do the second line in the same way. So I'm going to do the second line. Okay. Okay, the best line I could do. Okay. Yes, actually we're doing the multiples of 2 and I'm doing the multiples of 3. The one that is different is the one that says -2x, but it's just multiplying. Look at that, -2x. The graph of y equals -2x is just taking the same numbers here, but multiplying by -1. So it's going to be, instead of -6, it's going to be 6. Instead of -4, 4, 2, 0, -2, -4, and -6. So this is what you're going to do. -3 is going to be with 6, -2 is going to be with 4, -1 is going to be with 2, 0 with 0, 1 with -2, 2 with -4, and 3 with -6. So now you just need to do the graph. Let's see. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, something like that. Here you have your 3 graphs. Okay? Now I already have the 3 lines, plot on the Cartesian plane. I already put them. Good. And it says the relation is directly proportional. Now, if a graph of a function is a straight line that passes by 0, 0, is directly proportional. So you just need to click yes. The graphs are straight lines that crosses 0, 0. Done. Jury state that for any graph of the form y equals mx, the graph passes by the point 0, 0. Is he correct? Explain your reasoning. I think that you already know the answer. I think you already know the answer because we already did 3 graphs. The 3 graphs passes by 0, 0. And if you notice, every time we reach to 0, we're multiplying 0 times 3. So it's going to give you 0. So it means that any graph of this form passes by 0, 0. So any graph of the form y equals mx is a line that crosses by 0, 0 is directly proportional. The second question says, Jury states that any graph of the form mx, the graph passes by point 1m. Is he correct? You must do exactly the same. Look at that. If you put 1, the function is 3x. In 1 passes by 1 times 3. Okay, 1 times 3, 3. In the second, 1 times 2. It's going to give you times 2. And in the one that is -2x, look at that, is 1 and -2. So yes, it's correct. It's correct. With dividing the line. No, sweetie, or mister, I don't get it. I don't get your question. I don't know that it is correct with dividing the line. Don't get it. I can see here that someone is asking question. 16. Let's see 16. What is 16 about? Okay, it says Paul wants to know the holiday destinations preferences in 6th graders. He decides to select 45 out of 120 students. Describe a method that Paul should not follow to select the sample. Should not follow. My God, should not follow to select the example. You didn't understand C of 16 you're talking about, or you're talking about 14? 14D, I already answered. I already answered 14D. I already answered 14D. Just go back like 2 minutes in the video and you will see the answer. A method that, any method that is not random, is not going to be good to select the sample. That's the idea. So if you're going to work out on 14C, I already answered 14C. Take back 5 minutes and you will see the answer of 14C. So the method that, let me finish here and then I'll check again your answers. Describe a method that Paul should not follow to select the sample. So any method that is not random is going to be wrong. So for example, Paul wants to ask 45 of his friends. Or Paul wants to, it's going to take all students of 6A. Or Paul is going to put the list of students and he's going to choose the first 45. Any method that is not random is going to be not a good method to select the sample. Hello. Describe a method that Paul must follow to select the sample. Okay, so any method that is random will help him to select. For example, a method that you can follow to select the sample correctly is that you give a student one number. Okay, every student has one number. So give one number to each student. So you give one number to each student. Then use a random number generator to select 45 numbers. That could be a good way to select the sample. Okay? This is, I'm doing fine. Now let's go to 16C. It says, Paul found that 65 students prefer Miami, 23 students prefer Cartagena, and 10 students prefer other destination. Create a Venn diagram that displays the information knowing that 18 people prefer both Cartagena and Miami. Look at that, it says 18 people prefer both. So you must imagine that here, if I create a Venn diagram, one group is going to be Cartagena, one group is going to be Miami, and the intersection between these two, I'm going to put it in yellow, the intersection is going to be that they prefer both. Okay, the 18 people. Now, 65 students prefer Miami, but from these 65 students, 18 prefer Cartagena as well. So it means that I need to put here a number that completes the 65 students if I have 18. So I just need to subtract 65 minus 18. 65 minus 18 is 50 minus 3. That is 47. 47 students will be here in this part because they are the people who choose Miami but not choose Cartagena. If I add these two numbers, 18 and 47, I'm gonna get the 65 students. Now it says, now 23 students prefer Cartagena, so it means that I have 18. So same thing, I just need to take 23 minus 18. 10 minus 5, that is 15. Sorry, that is 5. So it's gonna give me 5 students prefer Cartagena. Okay, the addition of this and this is gonna give me 23. And others, so people that are not inside Cartagena nor inside Miami, must be here, are 10. Okay? Now, with this Venn diagram, now I can answer questions. For example, state the number of students that prefer only Cartagena. That would be 5. I can know with this information what was the total number of students that were asked. But it says 120 students, right? No, yes, sorry, 120 students. 120 students. You see? Okay, that's how you work out this question. Now I'm going to get back quickly to talk about 14C and D. 14C states for any graph of the form y equals mx, the graph passes by the point 0, 0. Is it correct? Explain your reasoning. Again, let me repeat. Just look at the graphs. You did 3 graphs of the same form. And the 3 graphs passes by 0, 0. And notice that anytime you put 0 here, when you multiply it by the number, you're gonna get 0. So it's correct. Yes. Because x times, or because when x equals 0, y equals m times 0, that is 0. Therefore, any graph of the form y equals mx passes by 0, 0. That's it. Or in this one, Yuri states that for any graph of the form y equals mx, the graph passes by the point 1m. Is he correct? Explain your reasoning. So if you go to the graph here, you can see that when x is 1, you get m3. When x is 1, you get m2. When x is 1, you get m negative 2. You can also say, yes, according to the results of the graphs, anytime x equals 1, y equals m, the number that multiplies x. You see? Done. Now I need to check other places. I already answered question 5, question 6, question 14, question 16. That were the questions you asked me to. Now I'm going to check the chat a little. Let me know if there is a question. When you know there is a line or not. When you know there is a line. I'm still thinking of your question. Regla de tres. Okay, direct variation. Direct variation. Direct variation. Direct variation. Direct variation. Give me a minute. I'm just reading questions. Regla de tres, 15D, 17. Okay. Oh my God. I just wrote awful. I'm checking. Oh my God, I have a lot of chats, but I don't know which one to check. 17? 17? Question 17? Question 17? 65th term of the 10b. Okay, 65th term. 10b. They're asking me 10b here. 17, 10b. 17, 10b. 17, 10b. And second. Okay. 17, 10b and second. Okay, so I'm going to the second question, then to the 10b, and then to 17. Second question. What is the second question? Let's see. Okay, the second question, somebody asked about regla de tres. So we're gonna do it. In a spring, the tension T newtons is directly proportional to the extension of the spring y centimeters. When the tension is 180 newtons, the extension is 4 centimeters. Calculate the tension when the extension is 3 centimeters. Work out the extension when the tension is 585 newtons. To solve it, first complete the table. Complete the table means identify the magnitudes. So I'm going to identify the magnitudes. The first magnitude is the tension, because it says that the tension is directly proportional to the extension of the spring, and it says when the tension is, and then the tension, when the tension is, you see? So now I know that one is tension in newtons, and the other magnitude is going to be the extension of the spring in centimeters. Look, the extension, and the extension. So I already find out that I'm relating extension of the spring in centimeters with the force in newtons. Now I'm going to check what happened to this table. So I'm going to complete the table. Look at that. It says when the tension is 180 newtons, the corresponding extension is 4 centimeters. This is the idea to complete the table. I want to know the tension, so I'm going to put T, tension, when the extension is 3 centimeters. This is the idea. And now it says work out the extension, so I don't know the extension, let's put E, when the tension is 585 newtons. Look at that, I already complete the table. Now I'm going to apply direct variation, or as you know it in Spanish, regla de tres. So to complete the regla de tres, or to do the direct variation, you have two options. So I'm going to tell you the first option. The first option is that you just take into account that the opposite to the variable you want to find, you're going to multiply it to the variable that is above or below your variable, and then the answer divided by the opposite of your line. You see what I did? Multiply 3 times 18 and plus 4 divided by 4. So the idea to get the tension is just 3 times 180 divided by 4. This is the option. And in the same way, I can get, for example, the extension. So I'm going to the opposite, 585. I have to multiply times 4, and the answer divided by 180. So the extension is going to be 585 times 4 divided by 180. These are the formulas to solve. The other option is that as this is a direct variation, the ratio of both magnitudes is going to be constant. So what it means? It means that if I divide 180 divided by 4, it's going to be equal to t divided by 3. The division is going to be constant. Or third option, the third option that you can use is to find the extension per centimeter, and after you have the extension per centimeter, multiply it by 3 centimeters. So how do you get the unitary ratio? So if I need the extension per centimeter to calculate the tension, so I need the extension per centimeter, I need to divide 180 divided by 4. This is gonna give me the unitary tension, the tension every centimeter. So if I divide 180 by 4, it's gonna give me 445. So it's gonna be 45 newtons every centimeter. So the other way to do it is tension equals 3 times 45 newtons, 3 centimeters times 25 newtons per centimeter. I didn't put the units here. It's important to put the units. I didn't put the units here, so I'm going to put them. And in this case, I need to do the opposite, right? So I need to do 4 over 180 to get the unitary extension. So I'm going to get a decimal, and you was going to put the fraction that I know that is 1 over 45 centimeters per newton. So in this case, it's going to be E equal dividing by 45. So I need to take 4 centimeters divided by 45. Sorry, not 4. 585 newtons divided by 45 centimeters per newton. By 45 centimeters over newton. So these are the two ways you can do it. These are the ways you can do it. So in both cases, we're going to do the same operation. Okay? So I'm going just to, in this one, it's feasible. T is just 3 centimeters times 4. So 3 times 4 in newtons. So T is going to be 12 newtons. 12. And in this one, I'm going to get E equals 585 over 45. But I'm not going to perform this division. I'm lazy. I'm going to start dividing by common factors. For example, a common factor here is 5. So if I divide 45 by 5, it's going to give me 9. If I divide 585 by 5, it's going to give me 1 here, another 1, 17. 117 divided by 9. And I'm going to divide by 3. So by 3. So by 3 and by 3. So by 3 is going to give me 3, 2 left, 9. 39. 39 divided by 3 is 13. So it's going to give me 13 centimeters. Okay? So this is how you can calculate using direct variation. So you have 3 options. 3 options. First option, follow just the rule. Go to the opposite. Multiply opposite by above or below. And divide by the one of the same line. Second option, know the ratios. 180 over 4 must be equal to T over 3 and solve the equation. For example, for the second one, I can tell that 4 over 180 is the same as E over 585 and solve the equation. Option number 3, calculate the unitary extension or the unitary tension and then multiply by the number they're asking you. Now, in the last one, put the answer as a fraction and then multiply by the fraction. Don't get lazy multiplying by fractions. So this is question number 2. Now we're going to question 10b. 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 Okay, I have -3, -6, -9, -12. Look at that here. What I'm doing is subtracting 3 each time. So the term-to-term rule, subtract by 3 each time. the n term. So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. In 1, I got -3. This is n. This is the term. In 2, I got -6. In 3, I got -9. In 4, I got -12. Look at that. What I'm doing here. It's funny that I here subtract by 3. And look at what I'm doing. I'm multiplying by -3. 1 times -3, -3. 2 times -3, -6. 3 times -3, -9. So what I'm doing is just multiplying by -3. So if I have n, what I have to do is to take n times -3. N times -3 is -3n. So this is the n term. The n term is -3n. And the 65th term, so I'm multiplying by 3, so 65 is going to be times -3. I just need to multiply 65 times -3. That is going to be 180 plus 15, so -195. Remember the negative term. Okay, somebody told me that the key answer is wrong, so if it's wrong, just check if it's wrong. Okay, so let me see the chat because I forgot. I don't know which one. It says 17. I already explained 15D. I think I already did 15D. No? 15D is to graph like this. You have the table. You put the cost according to a function machine. And then plot the graph like this one. Select some values, plot them. And finally, check if it's directly proportional, if it passes by 0, 0. I'm going to do 15D. 17. Let's see 17. Check on the appropriate data. Hello? Check on the appropriate type of data. First one has been done for you. Height of 6th graders is continuous. Yes, it's continuous because a height is a measurement. You need to take a ruler or a metric tape and measure. Number of siblings, you count the number of siblings, so it's going to be discrete. Hair color, the answers are going to be colors, and the color is a category, categorical. Sleeping time, time is something that you measure. You need to take a stopwatch and measure the time, so it's going to be continuous. Favorite color is going to be another color, so it's going to be categorical. Number of letters in the name, so when you have a number of letters, you count the number of letters, and as you count the number of letters, this is discrete. Mass of 9th graders. The mass, to record the mass, you need to put yourself on a scale, and the scale is going to tell you the value, so it's going to be continuous. This is how you know the types of data. I also see 19. Okay, let's see 19, what says. 19 says, the two-way table gives some information about the football teams. 15 students support. Year 7, Robert City United total. So you just need to complete the table as the first one. To complete the table, 18B. Okay, I'm going to do 18B after 19. Complete the table, so I need to find out that here are 20 people, here are 8, so it means that here I need to have 12, right? 12 plus 8 is 20. Here 11 plus 12 plus 3, so 23 plus 3, 26. Good. Now, if here are 26, here must be 24 because the addition of these two must give you 50. Now, if I have 7 here and 3 here, is going to be 10. If I have 20 here and 10 here, I have 30 and I need 50, so I have to put 20. And I have 20 here, 11 here, so the answer is 9. Just to be sure, I'm going to check that 9 plus 8 is 17 plus 7, 24. Correct. That's it. This is how to complete the table. Now, it says create a compound graph. Compound, not dual. When it says compound, you're going to put the bars one over the other. Okay? When it says dual, this is compound. When it says dual, In dual, you do one bar, and the other, you do it right next. This is dual and this is compound. It says compound bar graph. So I'm going to represent information with a compound bar graph. So I need the data. So I'm going to choose Robert City United team. So I need to put year 7 and year 9 in bars. So I'm going to choose blue as year 7. And I'm going to choose red as year 9. This is what I'm going to do. Remember that unfortunately I don't have ruler here, so it's not going to look like a quite well bar graph. I think you can do it better. So year 7, 11, 12, and 13. So I need to put here in Roberts 11, 12, so 12, 12, and 3, 11, 12, and 3. You know, maybe this guy asked to people from your age that they don't follow United. They follow City because they were born in City's era, not in United's era. Now, let's see with year 9. It says 9, 8, and 7. So I need to draw a bar whose height is 9. Whose height is 9. So I'm here in 11, so the height is 9. I'm going until 20. You see? Until 20. Now this one is 8. I'm going until 20 because the bar must measure 8. And the other is 7. 7. So if I'm in 3 and I'm going until 7, I'm going to reach until 10. This is how to do a compound bar graph. Okay, I'm sorry for this line. Looks awful. You see? This is how it is done. It is done. Now, it says create a dual bar graph to represent the information. So it's going to be kind of this graph, but the bars that I put here, I must put them on the side. So I'm going to do again the graphs 11, 12, and 3. So for Roberts, 11. For Roberts, City 12, and United 3. Got it? Now, for year 9, it says 987. So 9. Going to do the line here in 9. Look at this is dual. 9. This is 8. And 7. Okay, remember to label like putting year 9 and in blue year 7. This is how to do a dual bar graph. The difference between both. Done. That's it. For example, which one is the model? Which one is the model between all people? Roberts and City. Which one is the model between year 7 City? You see? This is when you use it. You use dual to get by parts, and you can use compound when you want to know both. Okay, I already forgot where I were checking. 15D. I think I already did 15D. You're the best. I already told you how to do 15D. I already did 19, 18B. 18B. 18B is to create the pie chart, and to create the pie chart, you need to complete this this information. Okay, so it says sells bottles of drinks. The table shows the number of drinks sold on a day, and you must complete the table. Use the space for any computation. So I have 50 people. I have here 14 and 16, that there are 30, 38. So to complete the 15 people, I need 12, right? So 12 decide other drinks from water, lemonade, and Coca-Cola. This is the first thing we need to do. Now, I need to calculate the percent. I need to calculate the angle. You can use either two options. This is just a direct variation. So we're going to use direct variation. 50% is the total number of people. In percent, it's going to be 100%, and in angle, it's going to be 360 degrees, right? So we can get the unitary angle or the unitary percent and then just multiply. So how to get the unitary angle, the unitary percent? The unitary percent is just going to be the total percent, 100, divided the total frequency, 50. This answer is going to be 2. This is the unitary percent. So it means that I need to multiply each value by 2 to get the answer. Mr. Hugo, I prefer direct variation. With direct variation, you need to take any value of the angle of the percent you want to know. So in this case, 16 times 100 and divided by 50. Can you notice that it's the same idea? It's just a different order of multiplication. Now, I'm going to, as I already know the unitary percent, I'm just going to multiply. What happens if the unitary percent is not straightforward? Use fractions. Let's say that the total is 60 people. So you get 100 over 60. So divide by 10, 10 over 6, divide by 2, 5 over 3, and I got 5/3. So any number must be multiplied by 5/3 to determine the percent. Okay, this is direct variation. This is direct variation because the percent and the frequency must be directly proportional. If I graph frequency with percent, if I do a graph of frequency and percent, I'm going to get a straight line that crosses by 0, 0. Okay? Now I'm just going to multiply by 2. 16 times 2 is, if I'm not wrong, is 32. 8 times 2 is 16. 12 times 2 is 24. I already got it. I just need to, if you need to be sure, add 6 plus 4, okay, sorry, 28 plus 32 is 50, 60, this is 60, 24 plus 16 is 40, so 60 plus 4 is 100, correct. Now I'm going to get the unitary angle. I'm going to do exactly the same. I'm going to divide 360 by 50 to get the unitary angle. So this is going to give me 36 over 5. 36 over 5. You can use the fraction if you want, or you can use the decimal if you want. Which one you prefer? It's up to you. It's up to you. I don't know which one you prefer. Which one do you prefer me to use? Fractions or percent? Answer in the chat, please. I'm gonna give you a few seconds meanwhile I check if I have more. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check if I have more questions here. Meanwhile, you tell me, what do you prefer, decimals or percent? Or decimals or fractions? Fractions, decimals or fractions? Sorry, I said percent. You must use decimals or what? Okay, if you say percent, I mean fractions. So I'm going to, I mean decimals. So I'm going to put this as a decimal. As is 5, I'm going to amplify by 2 to get the decimal form. 5 times 2 is 10. 36 times 2 is 72. 72 divided 10 is 7.2. So the unitary angle is 7.2. So now I just need to multiply each value by 7.2. So I know that I have 16. So 16 times 7.2. I just need to multiply these two. Remember that if you're going to multiply a decimal by a natural number, you just need to multiply the numbers and the answer just divided by 10 in this case, because it's one decimal number, one decimal place. So I'm going to multiply 16 times 7.2, or 7.2 times 16. 10 plus 6 times 7.2, 72 plus 142. 6 times 2, 12, 6 times 7, 42, and 143, 43.2. So I got 0.2, 3 and 2, 5, 7 and 4, 11, 115.2. This is what I got. I hope it's correct. So 115.2. Now I have to multiply 8 times 7.2. 8 times 7.2. So I'm going to multiply 8 times 72 and then divide by 10. 8 times 2 is 16. 1 left. 8 times 7 is 56 and 157. 57.6. And other will be 12. 12 times 7.2. So it's the same as 72 plus, 12 is 10 plus 2. So 7.2 times 10, 72 plus 2 times 7.2. That is going to be 4. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 7, 14. 14.4. 72 plus 14.4. 72 plus 14.4 is going to be 4 here. 0.6 and 7 and 1, 86.4. Now it is expected that the addition of these angles should give me 360 degrees. So I'm gonna add them. Let's add these two. 8 and 2, 0. 5, 1, 215 is these two. And these two, 6 and 4, 0. 7 and 6, 13. And 8 and 5, 13 as well. Yep. Okay. Yep. I did it correct. 10. Oh, sorry. 14. 14. 6 plus 4, 10. 7 plus 6, 13. And 1, 14. 1, 8 and 6, 14. 144. So I'm going to add 5 and 4, 9. 4 and 1, 5. 2 and 1, 3. 359. Didn't give me the exactly the answer, but it's rounded. So rounded to 360. So I'm going to allow it. Okay, I'm going to allow it because if I add the data, it's going to give me closer. But I'm going to recheck. Maybe some multiplication I did it wrong. 8 times 2, 16, 1 left. 8 times 7, 56, 157. This is correct. Maybe this one. 16 times 7.2. I'm going to use another method to multiply it. 6 times 2, 12. 6 times 7, 42 and 143. 2, 5, 7 and 4, 11. 115.2. No, it's correct. 12 times 7.2. I'm going to check if it's correct again. I'm going to use another method. 7 times 2 times 12. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 7, 14. 4, 4 and 2, 6. 7, 1, 86.4. Yeah. I mean, the only thing is that this one is not correctly operated. So let's check it. 14 times 7.2. This is 10 plus 4. Okay, I'm going to do it in the other way. 4 times 2, 8. 4 times 7, 28. 8, 8 and 2, 10, 10.8. Okay, no, it's just rounding errors. So when we round it, it's going to be 359, and 359 could be rounded to 360. Look at that. Sometimes we're approximating, we don't know the approximation, and this is what happened. This is what happened. Okay, and complete the pie chart. The problem is that I don't have a way to show you how to use a protractor here in this program, because the only thing you need to do is to measure with a protractor. So you need to put your protractor, the center of the protractor must be here. Your protractor should mark 0 here, and then by observing the counting 10, 20, 30 in your protractor, you must reach until the angle that is asking you. For example, in water that it says 28%, you must put until the protractor shows you 100.8. Okay, so unfortunately I cannot help you here because I don't have the way to show you the protractor in this program. Next time I should use another program in which we can use a protractor. But this is the idea. Put the protractor, and using the protractor measure. For example, the next one is 115.2. So you must start here. I'm gonna use red. You must start your protractor here at 0, the center of your protractor, and verify that the counting starts 10, 20 in this direction until your protractor marks 111 point. Let's say that is here, 111, 100 what? 115.2. And then stop and draw the line. And the other, it says 86.4. No, 57.6. Same thing, 57.6 and 86.4. Remember to label the data and to put the percent. When you create a pie chart, it's important that you put the percent and label data. Okay, everybody, I think that this was a well time in which we study, in which we review many questions. I don't know if there's any more question that you want me to review, because I don't have more time. I hope that this live session helps you to understand a lot of topics of probability, of statistics, of graphs that you weren't certain, and now that you're ready to work out. Before I leave, let me see if there's any question in the chat. People are telling me 15D. 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 15D, 15D, 15D. Come on, I'm not going to do 15D because I need to do 15A and 15B. If you understand how to do this one, you must be able to do this one. You must be able to do the graph if you have the data here. Come on, 15D. No time to do it. Okay, everybody. Hope you have a nice day. See you in the next video. See you later. I hope that this session works. And see you in the next time. Bye-bye, everybody. See you. Bye. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye. I hope it helps. See you, everybody. Ve, tan raro que la suma esto. Ve.